If you were anything like me and are just wondering, why the heck is Mike on at 10 and not 11? Well, you got a home here. Welcome to the Go Show, celebrating all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor playground of a state, nation, world that we live in. So appreciate you stopping by, sharing a bit of your morning with me. For those of the old guard, the normal tribe that are here, my peeps that I share this show with, you all know Greg Meekin. There's launching a new streaming channel, whatever. So we have the final test run today, and I have to do that at 11. So that is why I am doing this at 10 o'clock, because I want to still hang out with you and talk about some very, very, very important things from yesterday. If you missed the show, check it out. If you're on YouTube, check it out. Facebook, check it out. It's on their X. They live forever, ever. And I want you to be able to really get that story from Michael Slavel Stevens, because he is an amazing, amazing hunter. He's a great archer. He's a great hunter, amazing archer. I'll put it that way. All right. I don't want to get him too fired up about that. But part of his story was something that I want to talk about. Part of his story is something that I got a couple of text messages about and one email, and I was like, you know what? This is probably something we shall address. At the end of his hunt, he was losing shooting light. There is, in the hunting regulations here in Arizona, there are times where you can shoot, times you can't shoot, both in archery and in with rifle. And bird hunting, same thing. Like, I'll tell you this, on opening day of dove season, it was, I believe, sunrise was 6:01. What's up, Rhonda? It was 6:01. And that was when sunrise was. Regulated shooting light is a half hour before sunrise. That's when shooting light starts, which is ridiculous, by the way. And I'm going to get into that with ethics in a minute. But at 5:31, I'm not kidding, like an alarm bell went off, and then everybody started taking shots. Pop, 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 pop. It was wild. I almost said it was amazing. That would shed a positive light on it. I think it was unsafe, and it was just ridiculous. But shooting light, boom, people were following the rules. We, for the most part, as a We the People hunting group here in Arizona, we follow the rules. There are shooting lights where now you cannot. At sunset, you cannot. It's not 30 minutes after sunset. It's not 30 minutes before sunset. It's sunset. And sunset is very easy. You can ask Siri. You're rolling along. You just Google whatever type of phone you have and say, what is the sun? What time is sunset in this city I'm in or in my current location? It will give you the exact minute that sunset is considered legal, with the legal sunset or whatever, the recognized sunset. The end of Slavo's story, he said we went into a bit of overtime. So, of course, I get the messages that I had someone on my show that was shooting after legal light. Technically, yes. Slavo and my crew, Tequila Jim, Kip, Jim Sr., the people I hunt with, the people I fish with, are the most by the book conservatives, by the book conservationists, by the book rule followers that you're ever going to know. This is the right group. I talk to Queen Bee about that all the time. I'm like, you don't have to worry about me going out and being like doing nefarious nonsense with my buddies, because my buddies are the most ethical group you're probably going to run into. I surrounded myself with the right men. And I surround myself with the right friends. They keep an idiot like me on the straight path too. Slavo's one of those. Slavo is one of the most ethical hunters ever. So this is where we get into ethics and the hunting regs. So this is where I was asked the question. He said we went in overtime. He took a shot that, to me, I would never take, because I am not as good with a bow as he is. He is. He put in months of shooting at 100 yards and got accurate. I have pictures on my phone of his target at 100 yards, and I'm like, damn, every single one of those is a shot, is a hit. I was shocked by that. I mean, he's that good. So he hit a little behind, because you understand, in 100 yards, an arrow going 100 yards Any kind of little breeze, any kind of gust of wind, anything will throw that off its line. It's only going about 300 feet a second. It's fast, but it ain't a bullet. So you have to play the wind. Hit it a little behind. Had to at that moment because he shot that shot was in legal shooting lane. That shot was there. It was fine. Nothing wrong with that. Nobody can contend that. Now you have something to decide. Because in archery, it doesn't matter if you just thump and you watch that thing go down, it takes goes about 10, 20 yards and then drops and never moves again. As an archer, just so we're very clear, y'all, you stay put. You stay put for about 10, 15 minutes. You wait. The reason why you wait is that adrenaline still might be keeping that just instinct and adrenaline go. The animal is expired, but there could be something that if you go right to that animal after hitting with an arrow, if you go right to that harvest, it might get up and be gone. You might never find it, and it's just going to die somewhere. That's not ethical. So acting ethically is sitting where you are, waiting a minute. You got to wait a minute. Then, so Slavo knew he hit it back a little bit, right? So he started moving in where he wasn't going to jump it, wasn't going to startle it and move it and get it to jump up. Got into a spot where he could put a final arrow in that and just expire the animal. That is ethical. That is hunting ethics. None of us want animals to suffer. None. So in that moving to that position, it went past legal shooting line. There is not a game ranger, unit manager, member of your Arizona Game and Fish Department that would slight him for what he did. Might have been outside of the rules, but the man acted ethically and did the right thing for the animal. And you know what? If a unit manager was going to be there with a, stick up his butt, guess what? Slava would have said, yes, I needed to get to that animal to put it down. I had to, ethically. It would have stood the ground. He would have lost the animal, whatever the unit managers will not do this. But in some weird warped world, if that were the case, I'm you did it 2 minutes behind, whatever. Come on. So those that texted me, email, I understand your question, and it's not as if I promote that in any way. Because hunting outside of season, hunting outside of regular of regulations as far as time of day, that's poaching. Poaching's the ugliest word. It's the P word here on the show. What Slava did was not poaching. What Slava did was ethical, right, and I'm proud of him for it. And I stand by him on that. He did nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong. But there's so many people out there that just want to cause problems. Probably jealous they've never got drawn for pronghorn before. Probably jealous that they don't hunt like Slavo does and how rewarding that is. Probably never felt that before or never been put in that situation and can just basically just sideline quarterback it and just, I would have done differently. I would have never taken that shot. Well, shut up. You're not him. You're not my people. And this again, I hang out with the most ethical people there are. I do. We abide by hunting ethics. Well, Grizz, how you doing, Jim? Lynn, what's happening? This is in Lynn. You would be shocked at the amount of communication I get when people hear a podcast or see the video or a post that I make. It's just whatever. I know, like my man Fridays with Frank, who I'm trying, guys. I know it's season, so I might be able to get him on. Fridays with Frank. I stand on the mountain of truth. I stand on the mountain of right. I stand. It's fine. I'm good. Ain't no shame in my game, right? So I am good with that. I'm very proud of Slava. I'm very proud of how he acted in that moment, and he's okay to admit. He said, "Look, we had to go into overtime." I love it that he's not making up a story. We don't BS you here on this show or on my other show. We don't. It's this is who we are. This is the good, the bad, the ugly. This is who we are. And we don't have a lot of shame in our game. So put it that way. I see stuff. I see stuff all the time that is absolutely 100% unethical. And it really, it comes down to what you want to do, how you want to play this moment. In opening day of dove season, I saw some of the most unethical crap I've seen in hunting in my hunting life. And by the way, my hunting life is relatively short. I didn't start hunting till my early 20s. So I mean, I'm 2 decades into this thing, 2.5 decades into this thing. Maybe not just 20. This is what I saw. It's tragic. I remember when I decided to get a hunting dog for the first time. It's when I lost 2 dove in 1 day of shooting. And when I say lost, I mean, you hit it in there, it goes down, and then just somehow, some way, you just can't find the damn thing. And it happens. It's part of the game. It is. But we as ethical hunters, if I had 14 in the bag and 15 is my bag limit and I can't find that dove, guess what? I'm done for the day. I've limited out. Period. Sorry. I stay to those rules. But I lost 2 in a day. And I felt so horrible that I had lost something, that animal's going to die in vain. Now understand, no, coyotes are going to get them, snakes going to get them. I get it. It's fine. The predator's got to eat. I totally understand that. But I hate that mentality. Oh, yeah, we lost it. But predators got to eat. No. Nope. That's your take. You took that animal's life or you wounded that animal. It is your job, yours, period, to go get it and make sure you do everything you can to find and make sure that animal's harvested and dispatched ethically. That's just the way it goes. So I lost 2 and I'm like, I'm getting a bird dog. There's no way in the world I'm going to. And that's after I lost my 2 bird dogs, which was intern Beans and intern Nuge. So I lost those bird dogs because as kids, they didn't want to hunt and they were too small to hunt. So they just went and got my birds for me. Oh, those were the days. Those were the days. Yeah, you didn't have to feed them 50 pounds of dog food. You feed them, some donuts on the way, and maybe some chocolate milk, some chalky milk, and we're golden. They were the cheapest bird dogs there ever were, I'll tell you that. And yeah, bird dogs are more expensive than kids. Deal with it. They just are. So you got to know what you're getting into. If people ask me, hey, Mike, what's the best bird dog you could possibly get? I say someone else's bird dog. Borrow. Borrow whenever you can. But we are, as hunters, faced with just this ethics battle constantly. But understand this. There's something visceral that happens when you're on a hunt. Like you're tapping into your inner instinct, your hunter gatherer, your hunting instincts kick in. And those instincts don't abide usually by the hunting regs. So there's this constant battle in there. You're thinking you're out there in your spot and it's an hour before shooting light and you hear something moving in the trees and you're like, that thought happens every single time. You're like, what do I do? What if I see a 7x7 elk walk by me? I see a 300-inch, 400-inch elk walk by me. What do I do? And you want to, in all cases, you want to think, what? I do it that way. That's the same way in carrying a firearm. You think, okay, if I'm in a grocery store and I hear pop, 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 I'm running to the pop, pop, pop. I'm going to try my best to save human lives. You want to think you're that person, or do you skedaddle to the door and just get out there and every man for himself? But you want to think you're the primary in that, right? You want to think you're the one that's going to run too. We all think that until we're faced with certain things where we have to rubber meets the road. I was faced at one point fairly recently where I had to run to the pop pop. It wasn't a mass shooting event in a grocery store or anything like that. The story just, it is what it is. It's one of those stories that Rob knows and very few people know. And I did run too. And that left me with a level of confidence that, okay, I thought I was that guy. I am that guy. And I do know that if I have the 350 elk in front of me and it's not shooting light, I'm going to wait. I will stalk his big old booty as far as I possibly can. I will go to that. Yeah. Tell the story, Queen Bee says. Nah, tell the story. Really? You really want me to tell the story? Okay. Okay. Y'all, and this is Queen Bee said tell the story. It involves Queen Bee, so I didn't know if she wanted me to tell the story or not. So it was late in the evening over at Queen Bee's pad. And we just hear it out front. Pop, 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 pop. Like, what the? I'm from Long Beach. I heard this. I know what that is. It sounds like opening morning of dove season, right? And I scream, get her girls, get back in here. And I get into her safe. I grab a shotgun, and that was it. There was no pistols involved. The shotgun was what I had. Pistol grip, fantastic, wonderful for self-defense. And I roll right out front. Sure, schnitzel, there's a damn gunfight going out in front of the house. Not kidding. This is in like one of the like nicest little quiet neighborhoods around, right? You know, by a school. Everything's good. Like, whoa, this is like a real deal happening here. Okay. So I roll back in, make sure girls are safe. Girls are tucked away in a safe spot. Good. Go back out there, see what I can do. Got a shotgun in my hand. I get low. Queen Bee's house, you walk out. There's a gate that you walk through in a little entryway, really nice. And she's sided up to a green belt. Okay. So I'm at the gate, kind of looking around, surrounded by a half wall. And I look around. To my right, I see several young men, all armed with pistolas, coming out screaming. Yeah, the things they were screaming, I can't say on air without getting canceled. And so I drop. I've got the shotgun, and I'm like, holy crap. Like, what is going to happen? They turn and walk in front of Queen Bee's house. They walk in front. They're all staring down the street, guns drawn. And I am pushing myself backwards on my butt to the door, trying to get back to the door with my shotgun up like this. Because I knew if one of those dudes turned, they would probably fire on me. So I was just, back. Long story endless. There was a car parked in front of her house, looked like Swiss cheese. There was a full-blown gunfight of beef that started at a party in Phoenix, came all the way out to the West Valley, and ended in gunfire. I think a couple kids were hit, but no one died. And which goes to show you, by the way, that everybody thinks they're a gangster if they have a gun, and no one can shoot a damn gun. So that's how that played out. The next morning, I got very sick to my stomach when I was informed that there was a bullet hole in Queen Bee's house right above where I was standing. So there you have it. There was a bullet hole in the trash can, one still in the garage door. Fantastic. I'm like, never change that. That's a kind of a cool little memory. Yeah. So there you are. All right. So there you go. Queen Bee, I did tell the story. And so that's you want to think you're that guy, but you want to think you're the guy that can, I'm going to protect. I'm going to do what I can do to make sure that at least my tribe is safe, that my tribe is protected. I wasn't about to get in the middle of a damn gun battle between idiot high school kids. No, I'm going to just make sure that my tribe is safe. So it kind of let me with a little bit of confidence as I carry, as much as I do carry, that I am able to do that. So, so there you have it. Didn't expect to tell that story, but here we are. Everything's fine, by the way. It's a wonderful neighborhood. Thank you, Rhonda. I appreciate that. It just, it is a beautiful neighborhood. That's what I would say. It's a wonderful, wonderful neighborhood. Ozzy loves the hood. Yeah, Ozzy loves the hood, so it's good. As long as Ozzy's safe, we're all good. Yeah. So, yeah, and it is, Len. It's a Second Amendment testimonial too. But on the other side, though, it does give the other side a lot of, pun intended, ammunition to say, how'd these high school kids get all these damn firearms? All of them had pistols. All of them had nines. I was like, what in the world is happening? Yeah. And I think they're high school kids. I mean, everybody looks like a high school kid when you're 50, right? Yeah. 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 They seem to get a bunch of schlep rocks. Is that the common denominator? So Grizz said, I tend to get a bunch of schlep rocks. Yeah. I seem to get a lot of those. Yeah. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the common denominator. People are like, oh, that's the guy from that outdoor show, man. He's cool. He's cool. I can go act like a damn idiot. But I mean, but the schlep rock thing, that's it. That was an ethical violation. Mm-hmm. And as Tequila Jim says, of course, you don't get to pick when you'll be in a gunfight, but you definitely want to make sure that that if you are carrying, that you are the type of person that is going to use the firearm for good. And I definitely know Tequila Jim is one of those. I don't know if you caught it, Jim. I was speaking very highly of you, and that we are an ethical crew is in the things that we do in our hunting world and outside of our hunting world. Pretty damn ethical. We're pretty good guys. Yeah, I think we are. At least I think we are. But anyway, get back to Schleprock. Schleprock was one of the worst violators. I mean, first he was shooting while he was running. He would shoot a bird that would fall down, and he would run to get it. As he was running, he would see another bird and take a shot. And he would knock that down. The dude was a hell of a shot, believe it or not. And he was. I'm like, it's almost like watching horse-mounted dove hunting. I'm damn near impressed. He's on the move and taking birds that are doing 40 miles an hour, and he'd shoot it, and then he would lose all his birds. And so now he's just, and of course he's going to make sure that only he counts the 15 that he has, and he's taking down 20 something birds. So I mean the ethics just didn't fall there. Thank God, one of the unit managers was there, and the game warden, so to speak, the game warden was there, and he pulled Schleprock aside and gave him a little what for. It may or may not have been, and I always say mind your own business, but it may or may have been me going like this, nudging the gamer. Because it had to stop. It was dangerous. I'd already been shot that day. Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to waste any time. Schleprock was not wasting a lick of time. Not at all. And another thing we saw, somebody shot, and I don't think that shooting at shooting light at dove season, I think that needs to be changed. And a half hour before sunrise, ain't nobody can see what bird is what. I'm sorry. More raptors, more little cheaps, little bouncies, little Arizona Nada doves die in that half hour than need to be. Nobody can see what you cannot see what you don't know bird ID a half hour prior to sunup. You can't. So the guys next to us, which were literally shooting everything, didn't give us a lick of. We had nothing, and there was 3 of them. So they were dealing with like combined a 45 bag limit. So anything that came from that direction was not getting to my buddy Scott and I. But before we knew that was going to happen, it was a little bit of an ethics violation as well, because I saw them shoot 2 birds that weren't dove. They dropped them, realized it, went to see what they had shot, and just turned and walked away. That's just ridiculous. So later on in the day, I'd forgotten that they had done that. I was going to retrieve one of my birds, and I saw some movement. I thought, okay, that's my dove. Nope. That was the raptor they killed earlier in the morning. Still alive. Dying, bleeding, dead wing. So I looked at him. I dispatched the animal. I looked at them and said, took care of your raptor for you guys. Jackasses. I'm not trying to start fights, but man, there's somebody, especially in that environment, when it was like Fallujah out there. It was absolutely absurd. I was uncomfortable. I didn't want to be there. I didn't like it. Got shot in the neck. I was just like, I am mad at people right now. I'm going to fire off on you. I got your bird that you killed illegally, you slappies. Yeah, that's what it was. Opening day of dove season. But they don't do it for fun. They don't do it because it's cheap. But your Arizona Game and Fish Department actually publishes online and publishes in hard copy the regulations for seasons each and every season. Again, they don't do it for fun. They do it so you know what is legal and what is not legal. You know the rules. That's why they call them the regs. Those short for regulations for the cool kids. The regs are printed regularly. Please find a copy. You can get them at Bass Pro, Sportsman's Warehouse, Shields. You can get them. You can get them anywhere you want. So you can find them, and then you can hunt. There's no excuse to be a stupid mangy poacher. Okay, mistakes are made. I get it. I understand. But going to Tequila Jim, who is an attorney, he'll agree with me on this. Ignorance of the law is never a defense. Sorry. You don't know the law and you're out there breaking it just because you didn't know it was a law doesn't get you off the hook. Never does that get you off the hook. So there you go. But I encourage everybody, easy, Grizz. Let's not set the bar that high. But of course, if you say something like that, I will publish it. Yeah, throw it on blast there. Oh man. Let's see. Oh, here we go. The Haitian language. Yes, that's that. Not this show, Lynn. That's the next show. That's the next show. We'll be fine. Yeah, we're not getting into that. But there's definitely, I mean, I see ethics violations all the time. I'm poaching all the time at the community ponds that I see around town, and just people overfishing them, and those stocked ponds that just keep yanking trout out and catfish. And I just realized that this happened. Sorry, guys. Yeah, again, the transition that we're doing here. So sometimes it all works out, sometimes not. Can I tell you some exciting news that I'm just absolutely geeked out about? Upgrades to the logo coming. Oh yeah, upgrades this whole studio coming in a few weeks. So I'm very, very excited about that. And then I'm going to be launching, hopefully, let's keep the fingers crossed, a new podcast for wildlife for tomorrow. So we'll do several episodes up front. We'll do a couple episodes a month following that. And it'd be just great things that are going on in the world of conservation around this great state. Y'all, thank you so much. You guys are the very best. Nor is just plain ignorance. When I said, ignorance of the law is not a good defense, nor is just plain ignorance. Thank you, Tequila Jim. Always appreciate you. All right, y'all. Here's what we're going to do. If y'all know Val Gervais, get over to her Facebook page, Instagram, and all that. We're going to be doing a show here in about a half hour, and then we will do In Other News at noon in our regular scheduled spots. All right, so another 2 hours coming up of some crazy things happening around the world. Thank y'all for playing along with me. Like it, share it, do everything you guys can, retweet it, post it, whatever. Work it out. Let's build this thing. And now let's have some fun. So we'll see you here tomorrow, right here on The Go Show, celebrating all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor playground of a state, nation, and world that we live in. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.